welcome to Empire of the Stars. I'm going to take you through how this game works today. We've got a setup for 3 players. I'm just going to jump right into the game and we'll see how it works. So the first player is yellow, and we can know that by the fact that he has the scepter on his throne there. And the first player can put this pawn anywhere they want in this rondel area. There's 7 different roles you can take during the game. Explorer, Regent, Warlord, Merchant, Scientist, Steward, and Engineer. Warlord's where you fight each other. Merchant, you exchange money for resources. Steward, you collect resources from your planets. Explorer, you take tiles, and I'll put some tiles out here to start the game, into the galaxy, and you can claim one. Regent lets you use your political influence to try to take planets from each other. Engineer is where you build ships, and Scientist is where you get technologies in the game. Everybody starts with a special power. Yellow in this case is the Hive Mind, and we'll talk about that later. Blue is Sacrifice, and green is the Beggar. So this gives you a special power all during the game. On the other side of these, if you can see that there, you can actually get a superpower when the wormholes come out during Explorer, which we'll maybe get a chance to see it as we play. We're going to try to kind of speed through things for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to talk about the game as I play it. So he's going to select Explorer. Explorer means I get to pick one of these tiles and put it into the galaxy. Everybody started with a little bit of place in the galaxy, a home planet and another planet next to them. But now I get to pick a new one. I'm going to pick this one that has 2 energy on it. You can see that, and I'm going to play it, since I'm yellow, next to where I'm already at. Maybe over here. So when you put a planet down, it has to be next to a tile already in the galaxy. During Empire of the Stars, when you select a role, you get a special privilege, and then everybody else takes the same action you're taking. So because I chose Explorer and I put the tile down, I get to claim it with one of my colony tokens right away. So that's the benefit of choosing Explorer. The next player, which is green in this case, going around the table, also gets to choose a tile. There's a nice energy and metal tile in there. And we're going to put that next to one of my planets. We'll put it over here, right there. And then blue is going last, but he gets to place the 2 remaining tiles, both of which are polymer planets. He's going to put them next to where he's at, maybe like right here, and then perhaps maybe here just to make sure he can hold on to that. So that's Explorer. Then we'll put 4 more tiles out, and we'll pass the scepter to the green player, who gets to go next. Now the green player can now move this pawn to any other role that he might want to take. You can move to the one next to where the pawn is at for free, but if you skip over a roll, you have to leave a credit on it. What he's going to do is, he's actually going to do something a little bit dangerous maybe. I'm going to use my credits here. Oh, you know what? No, I've got another idea. I'll just go ahead and go here and do Regent. Let's just show how Regent works early in the game. So the first thing that happens during Regent is everybody puts out 2 colony tokens of their color. And these are called influence during Regent. So they're going to work just like colony tokens, except you can put them anywhere you want in the galaxy, except on someone's home planet. You can't place it there. So because this player chose Regent, they can decide to buy 1 additional influence. Everybody's going to get this opportunity. The cost starts at 2 credits. So I'm going to go ahead and spend my 2 credits here and get 1 more influence token on my turn. Blue gets the option. Now he has a lot of money. He's going to go ahead and spend 3. Every time someone buys an influence, the cost goes up by 1. So it costs him 3. He gets 1 more. Now yellow over here would cost him 4. He only has 3 credits, so he cannot buy another influence himself. Now, after everybody buys their influence, then the player to the left of the Regent, who chose Regent, puts all of their influence out. And the way this works is you take your 3 influence here on blue. I can put it anywhere I want. I can put it on an opponent's planet. I can put it on an opponent's occupied colony. This is also the way that you make star bases in the game. Every token in the game has 2 sides. There's a blank side and there's a symbol side in the game. And you can get star bases through the Regent action, which I'm going to show right now, actually. So I'm going to put 2 tokens here and 1 here. Okay, so I'm kind of building up my edge of the galaxy here. Yellow also probably wants to get a starbase, and green is going to do actually this. See how I placed that way over there? Not even close to where I'm at, but I'm going to try to go ahead and claim that during Regent. Okay, so the way Regent works is we remove tokens off evenly off of planets that are in contention. No one is in contention right now. But for example, if blue had placed a token here, we would take a yellow and blue off, then only one yellow would be left. See how that works? So that's how you resolve influence on planets. If after we resolve that contention, there are 2 or more tokens left on a planet, those become a star base. So this now is flipped over to a star base, gets this back. Blue also gets a star base here. This one comes back. And we finished Regent as far as influence is concerned. Now we're going to see if we score points. The way you win the game of Empire of the Stars is you get all of your tokens out, and each token you get out on the board is worth a point. Or you can score galaxy tokens in the game, which I'll explain during Steward and Merchant a little bit. Or you can score colony tokens through different things. And actually one of those things is Regent itself. And the way you score colony tokens during Regent is you count how many sectors you have planets in. So for example, yellow has presence in Delta and Gamma here. But that's only 2. You have to have at least 3 to score a colony token. If you have presence in 4 or more sectors, you score a colony token and a galaxy token. So that's how you get some of those galaxy tokens scored. Let's look at green, for example. He has 1, 2, 3, and notice he's over here. He doesn't have to control it. He just has to have a presence there. So because he's got 3, he's going to score a colony token, and those go in the back of your throne. You can't see that, but a little slot in the back of the throne. So he just scored a colony token. Because he's in a 4th or more, he also scores one of these galaxy tokens. So he actually got 2 points out of that. Really good for him. And then blue has 1, 2, 3, so he's going to get to score a colony token as well into his throne. So there's kind of some hidden scoring going on. Of course, you could track that during the game. I just like the way that it's a little bit oblique as the game goes on. So that's Regent. Now, the last thing that you do during Regent is the Regent gets to decide how the game will be scored. And there's these different double-sided tiles here, you can see. And so he has to think about how he wants to score this game. I'm just going to go ahead and pick, for a lack of, well, maybe, I was going to say aristocracy, but, so basically this means how you, holding the throne, will get to score some other things, or whoever meets the condition. So for example, you could have it be, because I'm holding the throne, I get to score, and the person on my left gets to score, or the person or players, possibly, with the most planets, which will also be green right now, would get to score. The most credits, the most technologies, the most resources, or the most ships. So you're kind of picking something that benefits yourself and hopefully prevent others from getting those extra points. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pick the most planets right now because that is only me. So that is this particular system here. Notice it says all players score 1 colony token. And also that the player with the most planets scores 1 galaxy token. So that's also in the game here. Put that over there. And so when it comes around to the throne now, we're going to go ahead and score that tile when that happens. And that now finishes Regent completely. The other thing you get by holding the galactic throne and declaring that type of scoring is now the green player no longer has to drop off credits when he moves his pawn around. So that's also a nice little benefit. Doesn't have to spend that extra money. Okay, let's talk about the next role here. So we've done Explorer, we've done Regent. We could do Warlord, but I think what I want to do with all of this money, I'm actually going to go make some ships right now. I don't have very many resources though, so that's not good for me. Why don't I go over to Steward? I'm going to drop a credit on Warlord, skip that, and go to Steward. The way Steward works in this game is there's 4 tiles up here. Now the person who chooses Steward can choose one of these tiles, and the benefit is you get the resources on the tile, and then everybody in the galaxy harvests those resources. So I really want metal, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this tile here. You can see it has a metal and a polymer on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and choose this, and I get a free metal and polymer. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up a metal and a polymer here. Then I'm going to look and see how I harvest polymers and metals. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4 polymers and 1 metal on my home planet there. I don't actually occupy this, but I do occupy those. So 4 polymers, which is great, and 1 more metal, which is nice. Okay, yellow, let's look and see what you harvest. You've got 1, 2, 3 polymers and a metal. Let's give you 3 polymers and 1 metal. And then green, you have 1, 2, 3 polymers and 2 metals. So you're really happy with that as well. So 3 polymers and 2 metals. So everybody's got a nice pile of resources now. Oh, I got to explain a few more things. All right, so after we pick our tile, we're going to put it back on this area here. But I put it at the lowest possible slot, and I flip it over. Now what that has done is it's changed the value of resources during merging. Notice before, polymers were 1, metal was 3, and energy was 4. I'm going to cover those up with this. Now, polymers 1, metals 3, energy is 3. So energy went down in value a little bit. And this kind of sort of abstracts out the supply and demand effect in the galaxy. And I flipped it over, which means whoever chooses merchant will get the $2 on that tile when they choose merchant as a special benefit. The other thing you can do during steward and merchant is you can decide to invest in far space. There are 6 different spots around on the board here. If you can see, they each have a cost on them. So this one's 2 metal and 5 credits. This is 2 energy and 6 credits, etc. You can see those. And there's actually little galaxy tokens on each of these spots. So starting with the player who chose steward, can decide if they want to invest in far space. Now, I have a little bit of metal right now. And this is only 2 metal. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 metal down to 1. And I get to take this galaxy token. Remember, these are also victory points. I'm going to put it into my throne. So I just scored a point with resources. So this really is a 4x game in the sense that you can score in multiple ways. You can score through building up your resource engine. You can score during Regent, and you saw that as you set the policy and expand your influence out. During Warlord, you can score by destroying your opponent's ships. And there's also some technology cards that let you score points given a certain condition is met. For example, the Imperial Commander here, you can see that one. And it reads, if you defeat an opponent in one sector, all of their ships and colonies are destroyed. Score 1 colony token and 1 galaxy token, then remove Imperial Commander from the game. So this lets you score points for a certain goal you can achieve. You can get that during Scientist, for example. So some of these let you score as well. So that's kind of cool, right? And of course, you can put colony tokens out by using Explorer. So all of these different angles lets you score your tokens during the game. All right, so he decided to spend some metal, took the galaxy token and scored it. He can't do anything else. I have a whole bunch of metal over here, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 metal. And notice this far space token, the galaxy token is gone, but it's open now, so I'm going to go ahead and spend my 2 metal and claim that. So I actually scored a point by putting it on the board, and now this is held by me, and no one else can take it during the game. So I also just basically scored a point by spending some metal. I could spend some more metal and score another one. I'm thinking about that actually. I know it seems extreme and I don't have a lot of resources left, but my turn's coming up next. I might choose Merchant and get some money and buy some resources, possibly. Can't choose Steward again though. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hold off just in case. Over here, we've got Green. He has a lot of metal as well. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 metal, going down to 2 for me. And I'm going to go up here and get one of these galaxy tokens, score that guy. And now, of course, this is available for someone to claim later. And that's all I'm going to do with far space right now. So a couple people scored some points with resources. Going to the next person's turn. Now I'm thinking as yellow player, what do I want to do? Engineer would be pretty good. I don't have any energy, though, which kind of bums me out a little bit. But I'm low on money, too. I'm going to go ahead and choose Engineer. Now, Engineer is where you build your ships. On the player board here, it has the cost of ships. Fighters are 1 credit and 1 metal. Actually, during Engineering, you can use polymer and credits at a 1-for-1 ratio. So if you don't have enough credits, you can use polymers instead and vice versa. Fighters cost a credit and a metal. Cruisers cost 2 credits, 2 metals, and 1 energy. Dreadnoughts cost 3 metal, 2 energy, and 3 credits. There's only 3 types of ships in Empire of the Stars. They get modified by your technologies, of course. Everybody has the same supply of ships and the same 3 types of ships in the game. Okay, so because I chose engineer, I get a free fighter. Put that in my staging area. Now, I didn't explain this either, but here's another important point in Empire of the Stars. The capacity of a planet is limited to 3 ships in the game, okay? So once it gets to 3, no more ships can stop in that particular planet or that particular quadrant in the galaxy. So that's important when you're building ships because you have to be able to deploy them to star bases. You can't deploy them to colonies. They can only go to star bases. And star bases, every player starts with 1 and always has 1 on their home planet. All right, I've just got metal, but I can do 3, and I can do 3 polymers. So 3 polymers, 3 metals gets me 3 more fighters. I can't create any cruisers. I don't have any energy. Green, on the other hand, has some metal and energy. He's got 2 metal, 3 energy. I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 metal and 1 energy and 2 polymer to make a cruiser. Blue has no energy and only 1 metal. He's going to make 1 fighter. So you can see why this was smart for yellow. He has a much larger fleet coming out because he chose engineer. Let's go ahead and deploy those guys. I'm going to put a couple here, and I'll put a couple here. I have lots of fighters now. Blue will put his maybe here, and green will put his big honkin' cruiser on his home planet. And that's how engineer works. All right, we're going to pass the baton over here. And now we've hit the galactic throne again. So we're going to look and see who has the most planets. And everybody gets to score 1 colony token. So yellow gets to score. Blue gets to score. Green gets to score. And because green has the most planets still, he gets to score a galaxy token as well. So as long as he holds the throne, no one else does regent, he will continue to score those if he continues to have the most planets in the game. Notice everybody scored a colony token, so our colony tokens are draining now every round of the game. And when the colony tokens are down to 0 or 1 or 2 left, that signals the end of the game. And if it comes around to the Emperor's turn and someone has 0, 1, or 2 tokens left, the game is over. Highest score wins. So that's how the game ends. You can see it's going to go very quickly here. All right, green's turn. It looks interesting now. I can't quite get my ships into place to do some serious damage to people. Otherwise, I was thinking about combat here. Yellow is very threatening to me right now. So Warlord isn't the best for me, but I've only got 1 buck. I might go to Steward again just to get some more resources. But the buck doesn't matter to me. I'm holding the throne. I can do anything I want. $1 means I can't buy any more influence. Merchant's interesting right now. Explorer's not bad. In fact, Explorer might be my best thing to do, but I need money. I'm going to go to Merchant for free. Notice that there's $2 there, so I get $2. And now everybody can buy and sell at this rate. I don't know if anybody's really going to buy or sell. Actually, I might like to get some metal, but it's $3. It's too much for me. I'm going to sell my polymers, though, all 4 of them for $4 more. Or space credits, or whatever I end up calling them right now. Keep calling them dollars, you know, such an American thing. He can sell his polymers for, I'm going to keep a few actually. Only going to sell a couple. I'm keeping them because I'm thinking for scientists I might want to have polymers. And here he's got 2. I'm going to go ahead and spend those and get my other 2 credits here. And that's Merchant. Now, when Merchant finishes, once again, we could take a moment to invest in far space with resources or money. The cheapest is 6. This has already been taken, so 5 is no longer available. He could buy it for 6. He could also buy it for 6. It starts with the player who chose Merchant. 6 is too much for me. 6 is not too much for me, although region will come up. I'm going to go ahead and do it for 6. It's a lot of money, but it's actually really nice to score something with your money. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for 6. Now I got that first base. That's all. Let's pass this over here to Blue's turn. Now Blue is wondering what to do. Let's go ahead and take Scientist. It's right next door, so it doesn't cost me any more money to do. I'll go ahead and do that. When you choose Scientist, your privilege is you get one of the technologies for free. There's 6 technologies out there. They all look pretty good to me. As I said, Imperial Commander is kind of nice. 1 victory would get me double points, which is really good. I get 1 for free. I'm going to go ahead and take Imperial Commander. Then everybody gets a chance to buy one. I've got polymers. So I can buy, you may buy any 2 technologies from the display instead of 1 for discovery. Gives you more options, which is nice. You may look at any of the unrevealed technologies and buy one instead of the one from the display during times. You may also use this to find and take your free technology. Ooh, really good. And sovereignty, if you choose Explorer, place a starbase instead of a colony on your place tile. Oh, that one's super good. I'm going to take that one and get sovereignty here. The limit to technologies is 4 per player. He has no resources. He can't buy anything. He has just energy, so ramming's possible. After revealing battle plans, destroy one of your ships, return to the staging area, and to make an unopposed hit. That could be very valuable, actually. You get a kind of a first strike with that. Interesting. And you don't lose it, but they just go into your staging area, which is also kind of interesting to me. And energy, huh? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. See if I can remember to use that when it comes up. Okay, these all get discarded. And we put out 6 more here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's our display now. We pass this over. And that's how Scientist works. You just get some tech. You can buy some tech. Those go into the game. Pretty simple as well. Boy, Yellow's thinking combat looks good. So I'm going to go put something on Merchant, go to Warlord. I get a credit because I stopped on Warlord there. And the privilege of Warlord is you get to go last. So you get to see where things end up before you decide to attack. So green has to go first here. Well, I am exposed a little bit here. You can get a lot of fighters into this area. I'm going to go ahead and move some ships over here just as a defensive posture right now to see if he's going to come in here and attack me or not. I've got quite a bit of defense here now. Going after him would be stupid. I'm not going to do that. You tell you what, though. Blue is going to zip into here. Okay? Now, here's how combat works. So, yellow finished his turn. Well, actually, yellow would not go first. Green finished his turn, and blue has finished. So, green moved but decided not to fight. Blue moved and now decides to resolve his combat. Now, you never have to fight in a sector. You can declare if you want to. And I am going to declare that I want to. Now, what you do is you add up your combat strength. So, blue has 2 fighters. Fighters are worth 1 combat strength. And he has a starbase. Starbases are worth 2 combat strength. So he has 4 against green's paltry 1. This is an overwhelming defeat for green, but let me show you how combat works. So you've got these dials in the game, and they have weapons, shields, and tactics. What you do is you allocate your combat strength across these 3 values in secret. So because I have 4, I could go, 2 weapons and 2 shields, or a shield and a tactic. Let me tell you what these do. After we decide on how to distribute our combat strength, we're going to reveal these simultaneously. We'll compare our weapons to shields. Any weapons that get through destroy ships or colonies or star bases. And you have to destroy ships first in this game before you can destroy colonies and star bases. And then after that's resolved, if both sides have units left, whoever has the highest tactics runs the other person out of the sector. So they have to flee the sector. Ships have to return to a starbase. Colonies and starbases are simply lost in that situation. So that's the logic behind the dials here. Well, I've got 4 combat strength. There's no way he can stop me. So I'm going to put 3 weapons and 1 shield. Green really doesn't have much of a choice here. I'm just going to go ahead and try to protect a guy. I'm going to put 1 in shields. We'll reveal simultaneously. You can see here that 3 weapons to 1 shield, so that's 2 hits coming through. There's only 1 token to destroy. So I will claim that as kind of a trophy for the combat. If I get 3 or more units destroyed during Warlord, I'm going to get to score a colony token. And if I get 4 or more, I get a galaxy token as well as a colony token. So that's the way you score points during Warlord. So poor green, he was just wiped out there. Now it's yellow's turn. He instigated this whole mess, right? So he could actually come in and do some interesting things. And it turns out that green is defended with cruiser, which is 3 strength, plus a fighter, plus a colony. That's a total of 5 strength. I can only marshal 5 down at him. We'd be even up. I don't like those odds. I'm going to come in over here instead. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm 4 on 2 right now. And I go 1, I don't know. I'll leave him. I'll leave him right there for the moment. Okay. Let's see if I can take out his starbase. So I've got 4. Blue's got 2. So yellow's I'm gonna secretly do this now. Let's see. What's a good amount? What would you do in this situation? What do you think would be the best thing to do? Now remember, that takes 2 hits to destroy. So I got to get 2 hits there is my thinking here. And then blue, what would blue do in this situation? He's thinking actually that. So let's reveal. Yellow did 3 weapons and 1 shield. Blue did no weapons, 1 shield and 1 tactics, okay? He was hoping there would be a little less devastation going on, but he decided a little bit wrong here, I think, in the end. So 3 weapons versus 1 shield, I get 2 hits. So 1 hit, and then the second hit removes this. And there was no returning fire from blue, so I'm fine in that case. Really, I could have taken in 2 weapons and got a hit on him, but in any event, that's how it ended up. So yellow really did well there. So after Warlord is finished, we're going to look at planets that have ships on them and no opposing forces. So you can see yellow here has 2 ships and no opposing forces, so he gets to claim it with a colony. Blue similarly gets to claim it with a colony. Okay, and then we look and see if you've got 3 or more units of trophies, if you will, after combat's finished, and no one had that. So we're going to return this to the respective players' supplies. That's how Warlord works. So you can see when you have overwhelming forces, it kind of leans one way, but when it gets close to similar forces, it gets very interesting the way combat works. All right, and this over here. Once again, we're back at the throne, and we're looking for whoever has the most planets. Green has 1, 2, 3. Yellow now has 4, and blue has 3. So everybody scores 1 token. And green scores a token, blue scores a token, but yellow has the most planets now, so yellow gets the galaxy token. See how that changed a bit there? Once again, it's green's turn. I think we've tried everything now, right? Region, everything's been shown to you. So this is how the game basically works. I can continue to play the game and see how it works more. I didn't actually use my powers yet. Those come into play as the game kind of begins to ramp up a little bit. But that's really how the game works. I'm just going to stop there and hope you enjoyed the explanation.